Everything starts as a simple idea, like a seed. Given the right attention, it can grow into something amazing. That's been the mission of the Hilliard Education Foundation for nearly 20 years, working with our community to help educators grow ideas into amazing opportunities for children. With your support, we've awarded more than $500,000 to fund grants at all grade levels throughout the district. In fact, the impact of our very first seed money awarded 19 years ago can still be seen today.
Our grant was for Hilliard High School at the time for our Renaissance program that was introduced to us in 1989 by a man, Larry Biddle, from South Carolina, and he presented at a principal's conference, and our principal at the time, Tom Webb, brought it to our entire faculty, and we all 100% agreed that we wanted to start a Renaissance program, but we needed the money. And thank you to the Hilliard Education Foundation, we were able to have our startup money. After the grant, we have been able to just build it into an emphasis on leadership for students. We have presented at national conventions to let them know what great things we have done. And we have felt, as John Bondo, the assistant principal in charge of Renaissance when we started the program, and now the principal here at Hilliard-Davidson, would tell you that Renaissance has been the heart of this school. It touches every single group of people each year, and there's a real emphasis with the student ambassadors on being leaders.
Congratulations to the Renaissance program. We're proud to share common roots, just as we're proud to be a part of all the programs we've helped, including ones that march to the beat of a different drummer.
We use the grants in teaching the kids about different cultures, the music of different cultures. And this way they can get hands-on experience. Like the doumbeks are from the Middle East and India. The Native American gathering drums we use when we do the Native American studies, and those are used mostly with K-1 kids and the second and third graders. The tabanos we use in second grade, third, fourth, and fifth because the kids are big enough to play those. The taiko drums we wait until fourth and fifth grade because they're very difficult to learn all the moves for those. I'm very grateful that we have something like this and that they're able to raise so much money and be so generous to the teachers that we can have these drums. There's no way we could buy them with district money.
Getting in rhythm with our schools is an important part of what we do. So when a new one opens, we lend a hand.
The Hilliard Education Foundation is fantastic. We were able to really start something that I didn't think we were able to get done in our first year of existence at Washington Elementary. The grant money that we received, I feel like we milked it for everything it was worth, and we got a lot of bang for our buck. And we were able to make a space that's inviting and exciting to come to. It's bright, it's colorful, it's somewhere the kids want to come and be. So it's really great. It's just great to see their faces when they leave the shop. You know, they've come in with some pieces of paper stapled together, and then they're able to leave with something that actually resembles a real book with, you know, end papers and a dedication label and an about the author page. So it's just a way for them to refine and make it something they can take home and be proud of.
All it often takes is a little support to help create amazing learning experiences. Your support has helped develop programs that are an integral part of our schools today.
We could not do the things we've done without their support. Not only the financial support, but just the physical support and the emotional support of being there to see what's going on, following up with what the kids are doing, and taking a vested interest. You know, when you have those kind of partnerships in a school district, there's no limit to what you can do. It really creates a circle of excellence, and I can't thank the foundation enough for what they've done. The outcome has been just a tremendous experience for all that have participated, not only the elementary and middle school students, but also the high school students, because they got to see what a difference they could make by sharing their knowledge. Also, they got to mentor the other kids, and they would build those relationships and help them grow. Probably one of the neatest things that can happen is when these students then come to the high school and they interview for leadership positions in the high school. And usually one of the questions is, when did you get interested in leadership? And they'll say, well, I was in Choose to Lead and Make a Difference.
As we've seen through the years, the sky is the limit for what grant programs can become. Actually, space is now the new measure.
The grant was able to take us farther into our immersion than we ever expected. Each grade level did 2 lesson plans, and what that grant was able to do was to give us a lot of resources and money for those lessons. It also paid for a wonderful mural that's on our gym wall, and it also got the materials to build a space shuttle that the 4th and 5th graders built, and it was just a wonderful experience. I think my favorite night was when we all came together and we were able to share what we learned. I didn't expect so many people, parents and grandparents and community members and business members coming and saying, wow, this was so great, we are so happy you were able to do this, and kids just being so excited about what they learned and just pulling their family members saying, look at what I did, look at, we did this, and actually talking about the lessons that they did and the correct outcomes of the lessons. I mean, that was really, really exciting to us.
We believe a great community is one with great schools, and when we can give back to the community, that makes the bond even stronger.
What I really like about the Labyrinth is it provides a balance of activities for the kids at recess. They can come out here and not only use the fancy playground equipment and it's more designed for entertainment, but they also can have some reflective time where they just sit and talk with each other, or they walk and reflect on their day, or just connect with nature and understand that they don't always need equipment to have fun. They can just enjoy being in nature. Our custodian likes to share stories with me every once in a while about she sees families coming over here in the evening and using the Labyrinth, or someone going through it with a walker or wheelchair, and those kind of stories are really nice to hear. The people that you didn't really anticipate using it as much, finding it and using it.
HEF grants touch more than simply children. They also affect parents in ways that brighten the spirit.
I think probably the neatest thing is when parents hear their kids speak. You know, we've had parents who came in and their children are nonverbal. They point to things, they grunt, they throw temper tantrums. You know, that's their way of communicating. And when you get them using the augmentative communication devices, and even though it's not the way that you and I communicate with our voices, it becomes their voice. And when you see these parents' reactions, you know, we've had parents who have cried, parents who they don't even know how to react because it's the first time they've ever heard their child communicate with them. And it's just, I mean, that's what it's all about, is giving them a way to communicate. I don't know what we would do without the Hilliard Education Foundation, because they're looking for cutting-edge technology, and especially when you're working with kids who have special needs and developmental disabilities, cutting-edge technology is the way to bring them into being able to interact with their peers and interact on the same kind of a level that you and I do.
While we all cherish smiling faces, we sometimes want to make kids mad. Really?
The grant was for a medieval and Renaissance festival that we have now every year, beginning back in 2005 when our grant was accepted. And the idea was born out of our social studies curriculum, where they study the medieval Renaissance festival, and we wanted to do something a little bit more than have the students read about it or watch a movie about it. We really wanted them to be able to experience firsthand what it was like to live back in medieval times. The thing that we thought was funniest as teachers was how angry the girls became and how unfair they thought it was that they couldn't play the games that the boys could play. And we really felt, though, that indicated that our festival was successful, because we really wanted them to experience what it was like to live in that time period. And in that time period, girls didn't have the same roles and weren't able to do the same things as boys.
What we do today as a foundation has lasting impact on our schools and individual children.
This grant, we named it Sticky Hooks, and it's like Velcro when it gets stuck to something. That's the idea, that we take a concept that is a necessary concept for our children to learn. It goes second grade concepts through fifth grade concepts, this particular grant. Although they're usable, as we've discovered, in higher grade levels. And we put it in a musical piece the kids never forget. Children learned exactly what we needed them to learn, and those specific key points, the children's test scores have risen, and risen specifically and directly on those key concepts that were tested. So we got proof of concept. Basically, it worked for what we wanted it to do. Kids scored better. In today's world, I mean, we all know that, there's less and less that we can do without a little bit of extra help, and there are so many projects that the money just will not be there to support, no matter how worthy it is. I mean, we find that out all the time. We're not saying this isn't a wonderful project, we just don't have the money to support it in the district. And the foundation has really allowed that to happen. It was a great gift for me to be able to play with music and teach children because of HEF.
The Hilliard Education Foundation is honored to have played a role in enriching our schools for nearly 2 decades. And we look forward to working with educators for the opportunities that lie ahead. All of this, though, is only possible through your support. You are the reason the Hilliard Education Foundation has been a success since 1989. Thank you for your time, financial support, ideas, kind words, and commitment to making Hilliard City Schools so great. So what do we hope next for the Hilliard Education Foundation?
They need another 20 years. And we will need you even more in the future, just the way that funding is.